Are you hanging in there? Huh? Got all your ducks in a row? I'm just sitting here, just thinking about stuff. One of the things I'm thinking about is why my glasses are so screwed up. Here, my head's screwed up too, and everything else is screwed up. Anyway, just sitting here thinking about how messed up the world is, how messed up people are, um, evil people, um, and what's important in our life, the life that we have left. And I, I, think back at the things that I've done in my life, and I've had an interesting life. Um, I've lived in nice homes. I've driven nice cars. I've dated some of the cutest girls in high school. Um, just things like that. Um, I've had good friends. Um, I'm alone now. Um, my girlfriend that I had for about 8 years uh, decided she wanted to cheat on me because I didn't want to marry her. Well, I wanted to marry her, but I had reservations about her autism son. That one of his habits was tearing up things, and he would have completely destroyed my collections I have, old newspaper collections that I do research for people for. He would have completely destroyed that. I have a huge collection of antique photographs. He would have destroyed those. Um, I just hesitated to get married. So she, I guess, wanted to teach me a lesson when out she cheated on me. That was, how long ago was that? It's about 9 years ago, I guess. And I'm still broken up over that because I really loved her. I remember, I've told you this before, I remember walking over a bridge and looking down at a river area, and I don't know how to swim. And I was thinking about my girlfriend, that I loved her so much that I was thinking, looking over the bridge at this water, I was thinking if she had fallen in the river and was drowning, that I loved her so much that I would have jumped in, even though I couldn't have saved her or saved myself. I would have jumped in and died with her. I would have jumped in, held her in my arms, and I would have died with her. Um, I've been upset with her for a long time, and anyway, like I said, she started cheating on me behind my back, and it was because I didn't want to marry her, which wasn't true. I was um, nervous about marrying her because of her son, and so anyway, so that was part of my love life. One of the uh, stories in my life. And I've had other sad things. Getting back to, that upset me. I never, anyway, I've always been nice to her. And I have forgiven her. I didn't want to forgive her. And I didn't want to, frankly, I haven't wanted to forgive other people in my life that have done me wrong. But I have, because God wants us to. And so I've forgiven them and put it in God's hands. And I don't approve or like what these people have done, but I have forgiven them. I really didn't want to. I still don't want to. But I told God that I had forgiven him, and that I was going to leave it in his hands. I'm in an age now that I think a lot about dying. My health is bad. I have breathing problems. The last few days I've experienced breathing problems where I can just do something simple like reach over and pick up a fork that dropped on the kitchen floor, and I get up and I'm out of breath. I've had two stents put in, an artery going to my heart about it's about 18 years ago. And that was to prevent a heart attack because I had two places on my artery that were blocked 90% on the same artery. So they rushed me in and put stents in to prevent me having a heart attack. And then in a couple of videos, I've mentioned that my mother died 5 years ago. And she was in the hospital for about 3 weeks. And then she was in hospice for about 2 weeks. And I used to go visit her every day. And used to go feed her. Anyway, I've always been interested in, I don't know, spirits, that type of thing, and angels. And I saw her the night before she died. I sat down at her bedside, and she didn't like to talk because her mouth was very dry. She didn't talk a lot anyway during that time of her life. I used to call her up every day, and before she went to the hospital, I'd call her up and say, "How you doing, Mom?" She'd give me one word. These glasses drive me crazy. She would give me like one word answers. And she wasn't one to talk a lot. I've got some other glasses here. They make me look like an ugly movie star. Maybe I can see better. They're not so crooked. Anyway, where was I? Oh, I'd call her up and I'd say, "Well, hi, Mom, how you doing?" "Fine." "You watching TV?" "Yes." "Anything good on?" "No." "Anything I can do for you?" "No." "Well, I just want you to know I love you." "Oh, I love you too. Thanks for calling." So she didn't talk a lot. But in the hospital, in the hospice that she ended up in, she didn't like to talk, uh, especially because her mouth was dry, and she didn't like to talk anyway. But I remember asking her a question. I says, "Mother," I said, "I want to ask you a question." I said, "Is there anybody that visits you that we don't know about?" And she said, "Yes." I said, I said, "Do you know who these people are?" She says, "Yes." I said, "Are they family? Are they family members that come to see you?" "No." I said, "How many people come?" She said, "6." Are they male and female?" She says, "Yes." And anyway, she told me that they'd come a couple of times. They don't stay long. And I said, "What did they say to you, Mother?" And she looked at me and she said, "Nice things." So, knowing that there were knowing that there were spiritual beings that came to my mother's bedside to comfort her was a big comfort to me. When I left the hospice that night, I had a really nice feeling come over me, knowing that there were spiritual visitors that were coming to visit her. Anyway, I know now why they were there. They were preparing her. Anyway, that the next morning, my sister called me, told me that Mother had died overnight. I was really close to Mother. And anyway, I cried so hard that the 2 stents that I had put in completely collapsed. I was rushed to the hospital and had 2 more stents put in, where the stents had collapsed into my artery. And during this time, I had a major heart attack. I've never been the same since. Up here I am. Up here I'm as clever clever as I've always been. But health-wise, I've never been the same since. I've had a lot of problems. This was 5 years ago. Last last February, 5 years ago. Since then, not besides not feeling well, uh, being weak, just not feeling good. I all of a sudden, I told you this on some other videos, but anyway, just to kind of give you a little history. Not that you're interested in it. I'm sure you're not on the edge of your seat listening to me, but anyway, grab some popcorn and some pretzels and some fudge, and I'll continue to tell you this boring story. Anyway, after my heart attack, there was a couple of bones on my right foot that all of a sudden they went out of place. So I went to 2 podiatrists, and got shots because they hurt so much. Had the shots put in to kill the pain, and of course it didn't. So anyway, I had the boot and crutches, and then I was walking in a friend's backyard. Went to visit him, and he had a brick path, excuse me, a brick walkway in his backyard. And I was just walking down this brick thing, talking to him, and he was showing me, his yard. He had a beautiful, like a park. His backyard was like a park. So anyway, there was a brick that was about that much too high compared to the other bricks in this brick walkway. And of course, guess who tripped over it? So I tripped over it and fell down and broke the tip of my heel bone off on my good foot. So now I had 2 feet that were bad. And I was in a mess. I remember my sister has Parkinson's, so she doesn't get around good. She went to the store for me and put the sacks of groceries on the porch. And so I'd bring him in the house, and I had a box that I put a couple of bags in at a time inside this box. Then I went down the stairs myself, a couple of stairs at a time, and slid this box down a couple of stairs. And I went down a couple more stairs, couple more stairs, sliding this box with a couple of sacks of groceries in the box so I could put them in my kitchen. So I lived that way for, I don't know, months. And then I had, my legs were not good. And I picked up a super bug. I don't know if I picked up the super bug in the hospital or where I picked it up at, but it's called a gram negative. If anybody wants to look that up, don't get it. Anyway, it's a super germ, super bug, and it's called gram negative. A lot of people die from it. So I had about 6 or 7 different antibiotics that I took to try to kill this infection. The problem with gram negative is that it's resistant to most antibiotics. So after about 6 or 7 tries of different antibiotics, I found one that helped and finally cured me. And anyway, I can't tell you all the other problems I've had. Last problem I had is I went to the dentist, and through an x-ray they found a big black spot in my jaw area. Said, that shouldn't be there. You need to have a oral surgeon look at that. Anyway, long story short, I had surgery. They went too close to a nerve. This is completely numb. Half of my lip and my chin, is completely numb. So it feels like that I just got out of the dentist, and the numbness never goes away. It's taken about, I don't know, 80% of the joy of eating away from me. Because it's numb, I dribble at times. It's not because I'm senile and I'm old. It's because I can't feel anything. It's like Kramer in Seinfeld. After he went to the dentist, he was drinking some water and he started dribbling, Jimmy. Jimmy that talked in the third person, that show, that episode. So anyway, I haven't had a fun time in the last 5 years. 3 years ago, I lost a cat. Um, there was a cat that I heard one summer when I had my windows open. I heard a little meow meow outside my window. Anyway, long story short, there was this smallest little kitten. Somebody dumped this kitten, I guess, out of the in the neighborhood. Anyway, kitten ended up in my backyard, and I started to feed it every day and go out and play with it. And I remember sitting on a towel on the grass with it, and I had like a flower that I'd go like this, and he would try to get it, things like that. Such a cute little cat, and anyway, I'm allergic to cats, and so winter came, and I just didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart to leave this cat, this innocent creature of God, out in the out in the elements of winter. So I brought him inside, even though I was allergic to cats. I brought him inside and had him for 8 years. Then he died. I won't go into all the details. I had all the details to these stories, but I didn't like the idea of trolls uh, making fun of what's tender to me and stealing the content, putting them on their videos, on their channel, making fun of it. So if you want to make fun of the other stuff, fine. But anyway, so I took them off YouTube so people can't see them because they're sacred to me. This story is sacred to me. Anyway, um, so this cat died. I had to put this cat had to put her to sleep, and I cried every day for 3 months. I won't go into all the details. Other than saying that that cat, I feel and felt that was the only thing on earth that loved me and needed me. I remember kneeling in prayer several times and begging God that he would spare this cat's life. And he could have. God could have. God could have done this, and my cat would have been healed. I don't think I've ever prayed so hard in my life. Anyway, the cat died. I waited several months. Like I said, I cried for 3 months. Not continually, but I cried every day for 3 months. And after a few months, I went down to the shelter and got another cat. And it was a cute cat. It's a cat that I needed because all it did is purr. It would get up on my lap and just purr. It was 8 years old at the time that I got it from the shelter. I really didn't want to get such an old cat because my cat that died was about 8.5 years. And so I was worried that this cat would die, you know. So I was hoping to find somebody or a cat that might be 2 years old. But this one was so cute. And so anyway, it was a beautiful cat. And that cat died a year ago, this coming June, of a tumor and cancer. I'm getting bitter. I'm getting a lot bitter. I only cried 2 months this time. Anyway, I've been pretty good. I've held back the tears. I guess my point of this video is that the only thing you really have when you get old like me, and you know that death's probably around the corner, even though I've had a hard time breathing the last few days, I don't want to go into the hospital because I might not come out of the hospital. They might put me on ventilators or whatever, and who knows, kill me, write it off as a coronavirus thing, whatever. So I just don't want to go to a hospital, and I'll try to wait it out. See, hope I don't have any more heart problems. But when you get old like me, you have time to reflect over your life and what's really important. And it isn't the cute, sexy, wild women, the fun drinking parties. I've never drunk. I haven't had drinking parties, but I'm sure a lot of you have. It isn't the great jobs and the luxury cars and how popular you are. Things that are important. I think it's really the love. I don't mean the sex. I mean the love that you've experienced in life with friends, with a wife, with a husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. A cat, a dog, a horse. I don't care if it's a cow. But there's love that you experience, and that's really so important. I haven't had enough of it, naturally. I really feel my kids don't love me. So I feel the only two things that really love me, my sisters love me. But anyway, my cats, I just really miss my cats. If I die, or when I die, and if I can't be with my two little precious cats, then it won't be heaven to me. It just will not be heaven to me unless I can be with my cats. To a lot of people, that sounds dumb. Well, if it does sound dumb, then I must be dumb because I love animals. People that are cruel to animals are the scum of the earth. It's like being cruel to a child. Scum. when you have a pet, whether it's a cat or a dog, and that cat or dog dies, it's like a child dies. It's part of the family died, and all I can say that your family, your friends, your pet, show them every day if you can. Too bad we have the coronavirus restrictions, but let the people that you love every day know that you love them. Tell them you love them every day if you can, because it might be the last day you see them. You can't go back in time, so the only thing you have is now. So let those people, let those people know how much you love them and how much you appreciate them.